Now, let me tell y'all something that folks around these parts know better'n to do, and that's rocking an empty chair. I reckon most city folks might laugh at such a thing, but up here in the hills, we know certain ways for a reason. Ain't just some silly old wives' tale neither. Nah, it's a warning. See, rocking an empty chair's like knocking on a door you best not open. Never know what kind of company might come knocking back. Now, there's a story folks tell, passed down from granny to grand-young'un, about why you don't go rockin' no empty chair. Happened a good many years ago, back when the hills were wilder, and folks still left plates out for the haints and such. Way up yonder, deep in the holler, lived a feller named Silas Boon. Old Silas weren't a bad man, just stubborn as a mule and twice as proud. Reckon he thought himself too smart for all them old mountain ways. His granny, God rest her soul, used to scold him something fierce about minding the signs. Don't whistle after dark, don't leave mirrors uncovered at night, and for the love of all things holy, don't rock an empty chair. But Silas, he'd just laugh it off. One autumn evening, Silas was setting on his porch, sipping a jug of moonshine and watching the sun dip low behind the ridge. The air was crisp, smelling like wood smoke and fallen leaves. His old hound, Buck, lay at his feet, twitching in his sleep. Out front, there sat two rocking chairs, one for Silas and the other that used to belong to his granny afore she passed on. It'd sit there empty ever since, creaking a little when the wind blew just right. Now, Silas, feeling a mite bold from that shine, nudged that empty chair with his boot, making it sway back and forth. Ain't nothing to it, he muttered, watching the chair rock slow and easy. Chuckling to himself, he gave it a harder shove, setting it rockin' good. That's supposed to bring the haints running, huh, Granny? He called out to the night. Well, come on then. Y'all ghosts ain't got nothing better to do. The woods answered with nothing but the sound of wind through the trees. Buck raised his head, sniffing the air, then let out a low whine. Silas paid him no mind, taking another swig from his jug. But then, something changed. The air got heavy, like the whole holler was holding his breath. Even the crickets went quiet. The chair, which should have slowed and stopped by now, kept on rocking. Back and forth, back and forth. Silas frowned. Must be the wind, he mumbled, though there weren't so much as a breeze stirring the leaves. Buck let out a low growl, his hackles standing up stiff as broom straw. Ah, hush up now, Silas said, though his voice weren't near as sure as before. He stood up, staring at that chair. It rocked slower now, slower, till it stopped. Silence settled over the porch like a thick wool blanket. Then came the creak, long and slow, like something heavy, setting itself down, right there in Granny's chair. Silas's breath hitched in his throat as the air grew cold, colder than any autumn night had a right to be. His chest felt tight, like something unseen was pressing down on him. Buck backed up, tail tucked tight twixt his legs, whimpering like a pup. Silas took a step back, but his boot caught on the porch plank, sending him stumbling. As he scrambled to his feet, he swore he could see the faintest shape sitting there, thin and hollow, with eyes that glinted like black coal in the moonlight. It didn't speak, it didn't move. Just sat there, staring right through him with eyes colder than a graveyard wind. Silas bolted inside, slamming the door hard enough to rattle the windows. He dropped the latch and backed away, heart hammering like a wild drum. Buck pawed at the door, trying to get in too, but Silas was too spooked to move. He just stood there, staring at the door like it might bust open any second. For what felt like hours, nothing happened. Then, just as sudden as it came, the heavy feeling lifted. The air warmed, the night sounds came back, and Buck started scratching at the door like his old self. Silas cracked the door open, peeking out onto the porch. The chair sat still as stone, empty and harmless like nothing ever happened. Silas never rocked that chair again. And from that night on, he always told folks to mind their ways. Said there's things out there in the hills that don't take kindly to being invited where they don't belong. So if y'all ever find yourself alone on a porch some night, don't you go rockin' no empty chair, 'cause you might just find something rockin' back. That there's why folks in the mountains don't mess with rockin' empty chairs. Ain't just superstition, it's respect. Respect for the things we can't see, and for the ones who came before us. So y'all remember that next time you pass by a rockin' chair sittin' still. Leave it be, less you're looking to share your porch with something from the other side. Now, reckon it's best we get inside. Night's setting in, and them hills don't forget easy.